All right. What we're going to talk about today is something that I have found very challenging myself. And I guess when I find things challenging, I try to work on it. So I'll share with you what's worked for me to some extent. Obviously, like all things, most of the solutions in life are very simple. At the same time, understand they're not necessarily so simple to implement, to actually do. And many things take a whole lifetime to become good at them, to become great at them. But the idea is simple, and if we work on it consistently, we could see big, big differences. Some of the fellows are asking what the point of Musar is. We don't really see the growth. When we learn Musar, we sit there, we talk, we don't see much of a change. And that's because Musar growth in general is very, very slow, very incremental. And if you look between today and yesterday, you might not see much of a difference. But when you look back after a year, after 2 years, or after 10 years, you see tremendous growth. There was a story told, somebody went over to Rapam, who Rapam was known to be a big tzaddik, very sweet, even-tempered person. And he was talking to Rapam about a challenge. He had a problem with anger. And the guy said to Rapam eventually, he's like, you don't understand really what it's like because you're such a calm, even-tempered person. And Rapam said, you're absolutely wrong. He said, by nature, I'm a very angry person. I get angry very easily. So I worked on myself day by day. And over time, over many, many years, I was able to change my midah. I was able to change my anger issues. And it's about, you didn't change overnight, Rapam, and no one changes overnight. It takes time, and you're not going to be perfect. You're still going to get angry sometimes. I tell you myself, when I was in high school, I had a really bad temper. I remember getting upset at a guy in science class. I still remember who it was chemistry class. This guy used to poke me in the back all the time. Sit in the back, poke me. You know. Finally, one day I lost it. You should never do this. You'll probably get suspended. I don't remember if I did, but I turned around and punched him right in the face. I don't know if any of you ever punched somebody in the face. It was so weird that we all just froze. All of us just froze. Like, whoa. You know, no one knew what to do or say. It was so awkward. And over years now, I still get angry. I can't say I don't. I wish I could. But over years and years and years, you change slowly, only if you work on yourself, though. There are many people that I know who are angry people when they were 15, and now they're 35, and they still get angry very easily. They still have major anger problems. I know people who are dishonest at 15, and they're still dishonest. I know people who aren't, and the difference is the work that they do, that incremental work, day by day. For the people who worked on their midos, it added up, and they were able to change. And some people didn't, and they stayed the same. So what I'm going to talk about today really is connected to that. Something that I definitely am challenged with, and I assume everyone is a concept called yish. It's a concept that we give up very often when we are faced with challenges in our life, and they seem to be big problems. We are overwhelmed by them, and we feel we can't control them or stop them, and so we give up. I'll start with a famous Shmuess in last week's parasha. I told my fellows. In last week's parasha, we have the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu. And the pasuk says, Vayelech ish mi beis Levi, vayikach es bas Levi. A man went out from the house of Levi, and he married a bas Levi, a daughter of Levi. These are Moshe's parents. Vatar Isha, and the woman became pregnant. Vateled Bain, and she gave birth to a son. And the pasuk says, Vateir oso ki tofu, and she saw that he was good. And the pasuk says, Vatitzbeneu shlosh yirachim, she hid him for 12 months. And the Mefarshim explained, she saw that he was good because the whole house lit up. The whole house was bright. It was all lit up. And so she knew that there was something special about this baby, and therefore she hid him for 3 months. So one of my guys asked a question that many, many people ask is, this pasuk seems insane. I would assume that any mother would try to save their child and hide the child and protect the child from the Mitzrayim who were coming to kill all the baby boys. I would assume anybody would do that. not just a mother, any father, anyone. If you see a baby that's in danger, anyone and everybody would try and do something. But that's not what the pasuk says. It says 5 strange words. It says, "Vatera oso kitovu." She saw that he was good. And then, I see that he's special. Vatitzpeneu shlosh yirachim. She hid him for 3 months. And the Rashiva explains that what's going on over here is that she would have given up hope. These Mitzrayim were very thorough about what they did. They kept records of everything that was going on. They knew who was pregnant. They spoke to the doctors. And they knew when somebody was expected to give birth. And they went on the day and they checked in beforehand to make sure everything's going. And they would take the baby and kill them. So anyone and everyone was giving up hope. And even Moshe Rabbeinu's parents, Amram and Yocheved, who were the biggest tzaddikim in the world at the time, they were leaders of the generation, they would have given up hope on their own child. Why? Because it's hopeless. But try to hide the baby, try to do something. They wouldn't even try. Why wouldn't you try? It's your child's life at stake. And the answer is because you give up hope. When you give up hope, your brain stops functioning well. You just don't think it's possible for me to succeed. I can't do it. If I can't do it, then I don't even try. And to highlight this idea of maybe something that we could all relate to a little better, I looked it up. I remember I heard this from my father once. That crazy thing. I'll tell you some statistics in sports. Crazy. There were 130 times in the history of baseball, 130 times, I think that's what it said, there were, in playoff series, there were teams that went up 4-0. I think that's what it said. But the bottom line is, only 3 times did a team that was down 4-0 come back. I think that's wrong. 3 times, what?
3 games to none.
They were down 3-0, and only 3 times I think they came back to force a game 7. Even to force a game 7. I think those stats are wrong. I looked up again. Take it back. I'll say it's stats like this. I don't know what the 130 was, but there were 35 times for sure that in the playoffs a team was up 4-0.
3 games to none.
3-0. Thank you, and only 3, let's see, I think 5 out of those times, got to get my things right, I think only 5 of those times did the team that was down win even one game. Even one game. Teams that were down 4-0, the vast majority of the time, 29 times out of 35, they were swept. And these were sometimes good teams that were favorite, teams that should have won. And it's true in basically all sports. It's that teams do not come back. In hockey, 28 times that teams were down, and basically they never won. And basketball, baseball, 11 times, 13 times that teams came back, but not that they won, but they were down and basically never won. I think in baseball they came back 1 time in history, a team that was down 4-0 actually won the series. And in hockey, it happened a few times. In basketball, I don't think it ever happened. Never happened. A team that was down 3-0 ever won the series. But the bigger surprise, I should have written this stuff down real quick. The bigger surprise is that the vast majority of the time, teams that were down 4-0 didn't even win a single game. Not even one game. And that doesn't make sense. Because a lot of times teams go on a 3-game win streak and tie it up. But in this case, they don't even win a single game. Why is that? Have the famous 4-minute mile, it was never done. Then all of a sudden, one guy did it, I forgot his name. Somebody remembers, maybe not. And 46 days after he broke the record, his record was broken. Nobody did it. And all of a sudden, it was broken, and then another guy broke it 46 days later, and it was a free-for-all. Same thing in the long jump or something. A lot of these things, it's not done. One guy breaks it, the barrier, and then all of a sudden a bunch of other people are able to do it afterwards. And the key to this is, the yesod to this is that when you're down 3-0, you think you have absolutely no chance. You think there's no way that you're going to be able to come back and make it a win. So you give up. And then you win nothing. You don't even win a single game. The vast majority of the time, 29 out of 35 times, they didn't even win a single game. And it's because we give up hope. We think that there's no chance. We think that we're not going to make it. So the question is, what can we do? Because we know this is powerful. We know in our lives how it's powerful, whether it's learning. I'm not going to understand the Gemara anyways. I'm not really going to be so good. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother trying for these 3 weeks to learn. Davening, I can't daven every single day, have kavanah. I can't, so I never have kavanah. I can't come on time every single day, so I'm just not going to come. I'm just not an on-time guy. I'm never going to come on time. And we don't try at all, and it affects every area of our life. And in your future lives, it'll affect your life and your career. People get set in a way that they view themselves and they give up. They give up. So here we are in yeshiva. I guess a few of the main areas are our davening and our learning, our avodas Hashem, and all those other subjects that we have. That we give up certain areas where we just say we're not going to be good at, we're not going to succeed, and so therefore we're not even going to try. So what can we do? What can we do? What's the key to understanding what's going on in our heads that we could switch our perspective and maybe make a difference and maybe put in the effort that we could win a game or 2 or 3 or even come back and win the series? How can we do it? So I think the major focus that could help us overcome this is that the reason why we're overwhelmed when we're facing a situation that is difficult, that's long-lasting, is that we get into that mindset that we're talking about is, I'm not going to be on time for davening every single day. I'm not going to be able to understand this whole test. I'm not going to be able to learn every day. I'm not going to be able to do all the things that I would like to do all the time. I'm going to get angry eventually. I'm going to be dishonest. I'm going to tell Lashon Hara. I'm going to do all these things. So what's the point of fighting when I know that I'm not going to succeed? And I think that is what causes us to give up hope. What causes us to give up hope is that we lose sight of today because we're so overwhelmed by the future. And so obviously the key to this is being able to focus on today. Now, I have a tachbula that'll help us, but just that concept alone is something that we could really do. They say this to everybody. This is a big yesod for anyone. I know there's a saying, 1 day at a time. Take it 1 day at a time, just for today. And just for today, you could succeed at anything. You, I, and everyone else could succeed at anything that we put our heads to for today. If I told you, just for today, come on time to davening, I assume everybody, almost everybody, would be able to manage that. If I told you for today, forget about anything else, just for today, I want you to learn the entire day, from the beginning to the end. I want you to learn just for today. I assume most of the guys here would be able to do that. If I tell you, don't look at anything that you're not supposed to, don't go browsing on your internet, just for today. Tomorrow you do what you want, just for today. I assume everybody here would be able to do that. If you can't, then there's definitely something we need to talk about. But I assume that most people will be able to do that, just for 1 day. And although it sounds big, but the truth is that it's really almost easy. It's definitely simple, but it's almost easy to do just for today. You get up in the morning, and this is part of the tachbula. You get up in the morning and you set your goals. What am I going to do just for today? I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. For today, what are my goals? And you make yourself a list, as the Mesilas Yesharim talks about. You make yourself a list of the important things that you want to accomplish just for today, every day. But you start with just today. Today I'm going to come on time to davening. Today I'm going to focus in shir for Gemara. Today I'm going to Today I'm going to be careful about what I say to my friends during recess. Today I'm not going to get angry. If I see myself getting upset, I'm going to step out. And you come with a plan how you're going to do it, which is helpful. But if you focus on just a day, one day at a time, then you'll really be able to accomplish a lot in your day. You're not going to change overnight. But if one day at a time, it's like there's some things that we see that are obvious, right? If you sit and you set aside 5 minutes after davening, I'm going to learn. So everyone knows, do the math. 5 minutes after davening every day. That's each week. I'm learning for about 30 minutes on a school day. Times the weeks of the year. Wow, after a year, I have over 1,000 hours. Unbelievable, 1,500 hours. Wow, look at that. It all adds up. And I can see 5 minutes, just 5 minutes a day becomes thousands. Wow, unbelievable. But the truth is, it works the same way with every area of our life. If we sit there and we learn one day, and then we come back and we learn the next day, we may not see perfection, we may not see the results on our test scores. We may not see a lot of changes, but little by little, we're going to change. Those things are going to add up. One thing after the next, day after day, week after week of growth, we're going to end up in a very different place. So how can we do that? So I have one little tachbul I'd like to share with you. And it's a famous thing that we know about. And we say, whenever we finish a Masechta, we say, Anu Ameil, V'hem Ameil, Anu Ameil, Mekabel Schar, V'hem Ameil, V'hem Mekabel Schar. We work hard, and they work hard. Meaning non-Jews, we work hard, and we get reward. They work hard, and they don't get reward. And so, obvious question everyone asks is that if you non-Jews, they get rewarded for all their hard work. Obviously, I don't know if somebody said this recently, you've probably heard this in your careers here. But non-Jews work hard and they get rewarded, they have a salary, they make money. So what do we mean that we work hard and we get rewarded, and they work hard and they don't get rewarded? And the famous answer is that we work hard and we are rewarded for our hard work, regardless of our success. We don't need to succeed. A non-Jew works hard, and he's not rewarded for his hard work, he's rewarded for his success. Famous story is told, I told it over here probably before, about some guy who was trying to be a basketball player. I'm not going to go through the whole story. You probably heard it. And he just missed the cut. He was supposed to be on the Phoenix Suns, but he was the last cut. And they ended up trying out to be a teacher at Torah Chaim. Obviously, if you can't be in the NBA, that's like the next level down in terms of salary and in terms of chashivas. So you try to be a teacher here. It didn't work out well either. The guy, imagine, he put thousands and thousands of hours practicing his basketball skills, practicing his ball handling, his shooting, and everything, and he was super. He made it to almost the NBA. He was cut, the last cut. If he would have made it on the team, he would have gotten the minimum wage, he would have made $100,000. He just missed it. And for that, he received absolutely nothing. Nothing. Because he's not rewarded for all the effort that he puts in. He's just rewarded for results. And he didn't have the results. And just a tachbula to help us is that we are rewarded for every battle that we have, not every victory. Some people have this idea that, if I have a victory, then I'm rewarded. So listen, I shouldn't give up. Because even if I lose the war, but if I win a battle, so then I'm going to get rewarded. So let me fight this battle against the Yetzer Hara. Let me fight it. Because even if I lose the war, but at least I'll win the battle. At least I'll win for today, and then I'll be okay. For today, I'll win. So let me win the battle today, because I win the battle today, I'll get rewarded for my battle today. And if I lose the war tomorrow, it's okay. But it's more than that. That's true. But the way it works is that even if we lose the battle today, we still won to an extent. If we're battling to try and focus in Shir, and we're trying, and we're tired, and we're working hard, and we're trying to focus, and we can't. We keep losing concentration. So you say, well, I wasn't able to concentrate today in Shir. I lost. So today's a 0. No. Even though I didn't concentrate the whole time in Shir, and even though my Rebbe is a little grouchy at me maybe because I was spacing out for most of Shir, but I was really trying. I was really tired. I went to sleep late last night, whatever I did. But I was really tired. But I really tried. So for all of your effort that you tried to focus, even though you failed miserably, you get rewarded for that. That alone. And I'm going to battle. I'm going to come here. I'm going to try. You come into davening 20 minutes late, but you really tried. You set your alarms. You set 3 alarms to wake you up, and you slept through all of them. but you set them all, and you try to get up, and then you went back down, and you were fighting yourself back and forth. You said, why'd I fight? I ended up losing anyways. I didn't make it on time to davening. So I spent a half an hour fighting to get up for Shacharis, pulling myself up and laying back down, pulling myself out. And I ended up coming in half an hour late. My Rabbi marked me very late, not just late. He marked me very late. Again, double late for the day. Why'd I even bother? Why'd I bother? I lost. So the whole fight was worthless. Even that's not true. Maybe true on your grade, but it's not true in terms of Hashem. In terms of Hashem, you had many, many victories there. You fought, and fighting is a victory. You fought, you tried, you lost, you fought, you went back and forth, you got out of bed, back into bed. That's an accomplishment. And over time, that fighting, you'll start winning a little more. It'll happen. If you keep on fighting, you keep on pushing, and you really want it, it'll happen slowly but surely, but you got to appreciate the battle, that I'm fighting the battle. And if I continue to fight the battle, then I'm going to be successful. I'll be successful because I'm fighting. So, I guess the yesod that I want to share is that we have this big challenge called Yish. We have this big challenge that we give up. This big challenge that we're overwhelmed by the big picture that we think that we're not going to succeed. And that's normal. And that's what everyone goes through. In every area of life, you're going to face this. In your marriage, in your raising your kids, in your davening, in your business, in your learning, in your benam lachavero, the way you deal with people, in your honesty, in your anger. In every single area of your life, you are going to be challenged, and you're going to fail some of the time. It's true. And many people, they give up. They say, okay, this is me, and this is me for the rest of my life, and they remain in that position. That is a challenge that we face. The key is to appreciate that the goal is not to win. The goal is just for today, just for now. I'm going to do it. They asked that team that all of you guys know, the Boston Red Sox, when they beat the Yankees after they were down 3-0. They came back and won the series. They asked them, how did you do it? One of the guys, I forgot who it was, said in an interview, he said that the manager told them, for Game 4, he said, we're going to win Game 4. I don't care, we lose the series. But all we want to do is win Game 4. We're not going down without winning Game 4. And they won Game 4. And then before Game 5, he told them the same thing. We're losing the series. But we're not losing Game 5. I don't care about the series. Game 5, we could win. Focus on Game 5. And they went out and they won Game 5. And Game 6, same thing. Game 7, the same thing. And sometimes you have to break into smaller pieces. And there was a hockey series, the team was down a bunch of goals against a team that never gave up goals. And the coach called them in before the third period. They were down 2 goals. And he said, listen, we're going to lose this game. He said, but our goal, no pun intended, is to win the shift. In hockey, the way it works is that you go on for a shift. It's like a minute or two. And you try your best again, and then you get off because it's a very tiring sport. So he says, we're going to win the shift. Even if we don't score, we're going to win the shift. That means keeping the puck in the offensive zone, trying to get shots on net. But that's it. That's the goal. The goal here is just to win the shift. Play hard and win the shift. And that's what they did. They went on and won the first shift. They went on and won the second shift. They went on and won the third shift. I don't remember what it was, but 7 minutes in, they scored 1 goal. And then, people started getting excited. Maybe we'll make it. The coach said, no. We're just going to win the shift. Don't focus on scoring goals. Don't focus on winning the game, winning the series. Just focus on winning the shift. And they won out. And they won another shift. And they won another shift and another shift. And finally, with a few minutes left, they scored another goal and tied it up. And they all got excited. We're going to come back. We're going to win. We're going to do this. We got the momentum. Coach said, no. We're just trying to win the shift. Just the shift. Work as hard as you can. You may not score. You may not get the victory. You may not score the goal. But the goal is not the goal. The goal is to give it all and to win the shift. That doesn't mean overcoming it. That means winning the shift, doing the best you can. And they went out there, and I think with less than a minute to go, they scored the goal and won the game. I think it was a big playoff series. I ran a team that lost was the Devils. But that's the key, guys. The key is to focus on winning the shift, to focus on what's in front of us. And sometimes that will mean focusing on the day. Sometimes that'll mean focusing on the hour. Sometimes it'll be focusing on the next 10 minutes and trying to win. And if we can do that and win 10 minutes and then another 10 minutes and another 10 minutes, we'll be very, very successful in life. We may not see the difference day by day, and that's what feeds into the yish, that we say, I don't see any changes, I don't see any difference. Even when I push myself, I don't make it. And I still get an absent for shachar, or the double late, or whatever it is. And I still get the bad grades on the test, and I'm not successful. I'm not having results, but we have to know that we are having results. It may not be results that you see on paper anywhere, but the results are inside of us. We're growing, we're getting better, we're getting stronger. And over time, day after day, we have to appreciate it's going to add up. And if we do that after much time and much effort, but it's a really simple process. Just focus on today. That's it. Have a big sign by your bed. Today, put it up. Write down, today, this is what I'm going to do. A, B, C. Have that sign up right outside your bed. These are my goals for today. And they don't need to be, I'm going to learn an extra hour after Seder. I'm going to do, whatever it is that. We don't need volunteer work. When I come in, these are my goals. Davening, sheer, basics, guys, basics. No volunteering. We care about the basics. To grow in your learning, in your davening. And if you do this 5 minutes a day, you just sit there, and another 5 minutes, you add it up, you could grow so much. You could become so, so great. It's wild. And this is the difference, by the way, between the great people, the Gedolim, and the people like, I don't want to say like you or me, but the people who don't become great. The difference is that the great people focus on the day, and they win, and they win, and they win the day, one day at a time. At the end of their life, they're Rabbi Yosef, they're Rabbi Yashav, they're the Gedolei Olam. And the people who aren't, it's because they don't have the day. They don't win the day. And it said, last thing before we go, it said when the great people go up to Shemayim, they're going to be on top of a mountain, and they're going to be looking down, and they're going to go, wow, I can't believe I got this high. I'm in the clouds. I'm so high. How did it happen? And the answer is that they took little step, they didn't even realize. And at the top, they looked down. Whoa, how did I get here? And the Rishonim, the people who aren't successful, they're sitting there with a little piece of grain, and they can't climb over it. Why? Because they didn't try. Because they what? If I step on that grain, then there's just going to be another grain. I have to step on another one. I'm not even going to try, and they don't even take the first step. Hashem should help us. Should help you guys. We should daven for each other and for ourselves, that we should take one day at a time and take those small steps day after day after day, so at the end of our lives we could be on top of the mountain.